Today was mostly a rest day, not too much occurring, but it was mostly like a bottle cap to the rest of the week. Think of it like a cherry on top of a cake. So here we go. First period, due to shorter time, I wasn't able to finish up a Spanish test, and thus I can't do the speaking quiz. So it's going to be delayed until Tuesday because of class, and me still need time to finish the test. So not much going on here. Second period, we did badminton this time, and this time I was able to separate the guy and put him in the back this time. So I handled all the stuff on the front, and for any long shots that the team did play tough, then he could catch it. So the team definitely played it real tough by making shots with the puck. So that went well most of the time. Even he had fun too. I wasn't with the tough guy this time. He was on a different team. So not much to note here. And I did have fun this time, so that's great. Third period, I turned in assignments for heat transfer and how Earth's atmosphere works. I did a test for it, and I got a 59 out of 63. Not much going on here. This went pretty nicely. Fourth period, I continued on the Mexican Revolution in specific regarding Pancho Villa and Zapata's role, and how both of their goals were about revolution, but also differed significantly in terms of reform and land. Lunch period, I had the daily conversation. Funny in and out joke, I guess, because people were going in the restaurants, in and out, ha ha ha. I might consider working at In-N-Out as a first job or sometime later on. Might take something retail before taking on a career path. Fifth period, I continued on English. We did a simple good versus evil and a bunch of quotes about humanity, whether people are good or bad. Obviously, the boys did make a lot of noise and annoyed the teacher a few times. I laughed a little bit. They even taunted the teacher by acting like kindergartners, but eventually it stopped. I even bet the teacher again a bunch of cents. There's the students that are going to be late again. The teacher kept asking me, like, why am I doing this? Why do you want to keep on doing this? I just said it was like a wishing well. And later on, she said, that at the end of the year, since students keep on getting late and that I keep betting so much coins that they're gonna be late, we're gonna be have enough money to buy a bunch of popcorn. And that was kind of funny. Anyways, sixth period, I sat in my new seat and I told the teacher it's much better for me to sit here in the board, so I was moved. I sensed the girl in the table was afraid to talk to me and a little bit scared, so she even used the restroom right before the period started. I used my skills during the classes the teacher was explaining, and we had a little bit of a quiet conversation. It's not too far, but it's good enough to remove like the icebreaker, like the fear that you don't know the person, but they're still there. So I broke that fear, and she knows a little bit about me. I know a little bit about her. Not too much in depth. It was just like basic everyday talk. So that's good in that part. Library visit, none today to count. Later on in the rest of my time, 6, 7, 8, and ninth period, from like 4 to 7, 9 p.m. I decided to spend time thinking about two things: continuity versus rotator differences in people, and why am I training and setting myself up for random interactions. So I've always noted the difference between people who like to rotate and move spots, and their goal is that they must always let newcomers know where they are. Compare this into real life. Say you're in a friendship or a relationship, doesn't matter. There's a day where both of you are quite busy, and the thing is that one of you guys have something urgent to say, but one of you guys have your phone on silent. So let's say your partner visits your house for a yet something also that's a surprise, but to also let you know about something urgent. Let's say you both live nearby. The issue is that your phone is on silent, and then your partner, since you're at work, your partner or friend might think logically that obviously you're working, or the thing is, they might come up with false conclusions if the silence persists further. They might start coming up with the worst case scenario, because we as people, even me too, subconsciously come up with the worst conclusions in the vacuum of silence, because there's no communication that's going on. Because communication is key. Because here, the partner doesn't know that the other partner is very busy and is at work today. What they misinterpret as someone that is being distant with them is in fact someone just busy for the day and that they'll get back later on. As simple as it is, translate that directly into high school friend groups. It doesn't matter which one. A newcomer enters a friend group. That friend group rotates without telling them. That newcomer might feel guilt or come to false conclusion that they're not worth being in the friend group. Is that issue is that it's up to the leaders and the peripheral members of the friend group to let the newcomer know where they're going to go, whether that be about switching spots. As I said, we're not babies. Obviously, we don't need to know where we're going to go. But on the day something hits the fan and you're gonna move spots, you gotta let the newcomer know, because there are peripheral members that do need to be let know. And the issue is that a lot of people, as I said, come to false conclusions, and I want to prevent that from happening. I even advise, again, this is your own decision, do as you wish, the practice of telling your friends during lunch or during something important if you're gonna do something different. If you're gonna do something that's a little bit different, tell them where you're gonna go. Tell them what's gonna happen. Even if they don't let you know where they themselves will go on days they like to rotate anywhere else, because it's not about location and letting each other know about ourselves every single hour. Rather, it's about telling others that structurally speaking, you care about them. Because I say start now, because later on in real life, when the real situations come, when we all become adults, not letting someone know for a certain thing, that vacuum of silence, that vacuum of being left on red or being left without any response can lead to false conclusions, because I say that humans subconsciously come to the worst case scenario, even though it is a complete misinterpretation of the sequence of events. So I keep arguing to that obviously then I still care about these people, even the ones that did end up leaving me, because they did not reject me, but rather they structurally elected me. And that comes even without action. That comes even if you don't even mean it. That's why I'm calling out the injustice so that it can be corrected quickly. Because I argue that as much as it is good to let people know, is that once you guys become adults later on, when it becomes real stakes, you gotta know others for certain situations where to go, so that they themselves don't get confused. And a lot of people, structurally speaking, ask me like, why do I keep setting up random interactions with people? Doesn't it cost a lot of social credits? Is another question that people would subconsciously ask. Because when me, as one day and as an adult, become a rotator like you guys, let's say I do eventually have a base friend group or a girlfriend, I want to make sure that I still structurally care about other people's time. But most importantly, I'm setting myself up for self confidence. I'm setting myself up when the interviews come, when that one day, well, when I have no friends, when I have everyone within my immediate social circle leaves, one day I'll be left to the world. I'll be ready because having to talk to random people as an adult, I'll be ready to do it. I have to use that skill now and practice it with random people because one day once the stakes do get high, my skill will be very important. That's why even then I go up to random chat sites, even omi.tv, just to interact with random people because of that fear before. The fear before that precedes before just even going on the computer and deciding to interact. The fear thing is a worst case scenario, but I realize I cannot let fear rule me. So, I mean, I did interact with a bunch of people. The result is nothing terrible. What I say is that the fear that's before you break a fear, you always get that instinct of what if the worst happens? What if something happens? I'm thinking on that. If you bank on it too much, the fear will eventually rule you. But if you break the fear now, it's going to just become something that's a part of your decision making, not making that decision for you. And it can be explained in a simple metaphor. Let's say you're like Queen, or let's say like Bohemian Rhapsody. Name any popular band in the world. You with your band on stage. You're all about to sing a new song. You're the lead character on the piano with the mic. As the applause begins to die down since your first appearance on stage, for a few seconds to minutes, your crew is ready. But your body and your mind freezes. You know you're ready, but the body's still catching up. But after those few minutes and seconds, metaphorically, when you finally play those first notes on the piano, when you start playing the piano and you sing that first lyric, that's when you start living consciously. That's when life has just begun.